Hi, this is Annie of ByAnnie.com and Patterns by Annie. Thank you so much for joining us today for Live with Annie. As usual, we've started the stream a bit early. This helps us get everything set up and broadcasting properly to our various platforms. You can find a countdown clock on the screen showing how long it will be until we actually go live. While you wait, please connect with us and other viewers in the chat. Let us know where you are from and whether you're a new or longtime viewer. We'll see you live soon! Thanks again for joining us for Live with Annie. We are so happy to have you with us today. While you wait for the program to start, we hope you'll enjoy the content playing on screen. There's so much inspiration, so take a moment to tell us what you love in the chat. Don't forget there is a countdown clock on the screen so you know how long until we go live. Hi, it's Annie again, reminding you that we'll be going live with this week's episode shortly. There is a countdown clock on the screen showing how much time is left. You've got just enough time to grab some water or a beverage of your choice and a snack, and to connect with us in the chat. We'd love to hear what you've been working on this week. It's Annie, back to remind you that we'll be starting this week's live very shortly. We've got a really fun episode planned for today, and we'll see you soon. Hi, I'm Annie of ByAnnie.com and Patterns by Annie. Thank you so much for joining us for episode 42 of season 4 of Live with Annie. Today I am really excited to introduce our newly updated pattern, Zip It Up 2.0. This popular pattern makes compact zippered cases in 2 sizes. They have numerous pockets inside and out and open to lay flat for easy access. Stay tuned to learn more about Zip It Up 2.0 and discover tips for making your own. We are really pleased to see you all here today on this first Wednesday in December. I can hardly believe that 2024 is almost over. This year has certainly flown by. So how's everyone coming on your holiday sewing projects? I had good plans to work on some over the Thanksgiving holidays, but I didn't even get started. I did, however, have a great visit with my family, and I managed to get some zippered bins made to organize my new chest freezer, so that felt good. I hope that you all had an enjoyable holiday too, and that you're looking forward to a busy month filled with joy and peace. If you enjoy these episodes, please take a minute to follow us wherever you are watching. And if you know someone else who you think might enjoy the information that we share, we would really love it if you would tell them about Live with Annie. The easiest way to do that is to just tag them while you're watching. That will take them directly to the episode so they can watch it too. Also, we love reading your comments, so please interact with us throughout this presentation. We really love learning from you, and we want to know what you think about it all. Be sure to add any questions you might have in the comments or chat, and we will do our best to answer them before we close. Last week, we introduced our newly updated pattern On the Go 2.0. We talked about its features and shared tips for making this handy little bag. If you missed that episode or want to watch it again, remember that you can find all the previous 180 episodes of Live with Annie on our Facebook page, our YouTube channel, or at ByAnnie.com. We've put up all the links to make them easy for you to find. So, today I am excited to tell you about Zip It Up 2.0. These compact cases are so handy for toting paperwork, sewing supplies, art supplies, and more, and I know you will enjoy making and using them. We're going to start today by playing the An Introduction and a Closer Look videos for Zip It Up 2.0. Then I'll be back to give you a closer look at some of the bags we've made, talk about construction, and show some ways that you can customize these bags to make them extra special. I'll also share photos and stories of the bags made by our pattern testers. Hi, I'm Annie with ByAnnie.com and Patterns by Annie. Come with me and let's check out our pattern Zip It Up 2.0. I often gravitate to this project. Why? Because it's simple, fun, and useful. Construction is easy since it's entirely flat, and it is an amazing blank slate. The exterior of the bag can really showcase quilting, piecing, embroidery, or applique. Yet, more than that, what I love most is that Zip It Up 2.0 isn't specifically designed for any single purpose, yet it meets so many needs well. Once made, it can be anything from a daily organizer to a first aid kit to a project bag. Starting on the outside, you will find large zippered pockets on both the front and the back. Both sizes of Zip It Up 2.0 open to lay flat and are designed with a combination of zippered pockets inside, a full-height pocket on one side and 2 pockets on the other. These can be made of vinyl and or mesh. It's up to you. Plus, as a bonus, we added elastic strips down the center. When you are ready to go, Zip It Up does just that, closing with a zipper all the way around the outside to keep contents secure and organized. The handle makes it easy to pick up, carry, and store, and both are sized to fit easily into a larger bag. The large Zip It Up 2.0 measures 11.5 inches high by 14 inches wide. Exterior pockets are big enough for an iPad Pro or large tablet. The soft and stable construction provides great cushioning and stability to keep your gadgets safe. Its interior pockets can fit a full-size notebook on one side. The double pockets work great for a calculator, cords, flashcards, and more. The small measures 8.5 inches high by 10 inches wide. Its exterior pockets are great for smaller tablets, e-readers, and more. On the interior, the double pockets will hold rotary cutters, scissors, and other tools. The single pocket is perfect for rulers or project pieces. The Zip It Up 2.0 pattern includes step-by-step instructions to make these professionally finished cases, and is an update of the original Zip It Up pattern, which was first released in 2016. In addition to improving the illustrations, we updated the instructions to make assembly easier and included instructions for working with directional fabrics. We improved the handle, added more pockets inside and out, and included elastic strips inside for even more storage options. You will love this new version. We also filmed an add-on video to help you with the more unique or challenging aspects of the pattern. You will find bullets in the pattern indicating steps that are covered. Note that if you are working with the original Zip It Up pattern, these videos will be helpful for that pattern too. That said, because we added more pockets and features, many of the sizes, markings, and methods changed, so we'd highly recommend that you upgrade to the latest version. Ask for Zip It Up 2.0 at your local quilt shop or find it at ByAnnie.com. If you have more questions, be sure to watch the A Closer Look video, which gives more info about gathering supplies and customizing the project. Hi, I'm Annie with ByAnnie.com and Patterns by Annie, and I'd like to give you a little more information about our pattern Zip It Up 2.0. This pattern includes instructions for making streamlined zippered cases in 2 sizes. Each is assembled while it is completely flat, making construction easy. The body of the case is one piece of quilted fabric. A variety of zippered pockets are attached to the outside of the body, along with a handle and handle stabilizer. A zipper goes all the way around the case to close it or allows it to open flat. On the inside are a single pocket as well as double pockets, each with a zippered closure. A center facing with elastic strips finishes the inside and provides extra storage options. The Zip It Up 2.0 pattern recommends 3 fabrics for each. A main fabric, which is used for the outside of the case body and pockets, a lining fabric used for the inside of those pieces, and a coordinating fabric used for everything else. Of course, if you prefer to mix things up, add more fabrics, or even use just 2 fabrics, you can certainly do that. Just know that you'll need to come up with your own cutting layouts, and you may need different amounts of fabric than what is called for on the supply list. You'll need just a half a yard of each of the 3 fabrics for the small case, and under 1 yard of each for the large case, so these projects are perfect for using fabrics from your stash or leftovers from other projects. For this small case, we used quilted fabric left from another project, using one piece for the body of the case and a different piece for the pockets. Because fabric was short, we used Tula Pink's black and white webbing for the handle and handle stabilizer. That saves some time, too. Directional fabrics will work fine for this project, and the pattern includes tips for their use. Note that hardly any of the main fabric shows on the case body, so save your precious fabrics and fussy cutting skills for the exterior pockets. The Zip It Up 2.0 pattern is designed to have a single pocket on the left side of the interior and double pockets on the right side. You can use vinyl or mesh for the pockets, so feel free to mix things up to suit your needs. Both materials provide great visibility. Mesh provides ventilation and a bit of stretch. Vinyl provides a bit more security. On this small case, we used vinyl for the single pocket and mesh for the double pockets. We reversed that for this large case using mesh on the left and vinyl on the right. For this set of cases, we made all the inside pockets on the small from mesh and all the inside pockets on the large from vinyl. You will find a full list of supplies on the back cover of the Zip It Up 2.0 pattern. If you don't yet have the pattern, you can also find the list on the Zip It Up 2.0 product page at ByAnnie.com. Just click on the Supply List tab. This pattern would make a great weekend project for confident beginners to more advanced makers. The design of the cases is very straightforward and all of the assembly is done on a flat piece. The project involves basic skills used in many ByAnnie patterns, and to help ensure success, we've filmed an add-on video. It will help you conceptualize the project and take you through the more unique or challenging parts of the pattern. Be sure to use the coupon that comes with the printed pattern to get the add-on video for free. You are sure to enjoy making these compact zippered cases for yourself or others. We cannot wait to see what you make and how you use them, so be sure to share pictures of your finished projects with us. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and YouTube by using @PatternsByAnnie. I hope you enjoyed learning more about Zip It Up 2.0 and that you're excited to make your own. Note that we didn't play the entire A Closer Look video, so if you'd like more information about the fabrics that were used in the models shown in those videos, plus additional models we've made, be sure to watch the remainder of the A Closer Look video. You will find it on the product page for the Zip It Up 2.0 pattern at our website, ByAnnie.com. Also, know that Jake is still fine-tuning these videos, so check back in a week or so to see the final, fully polished versions. Next, I'm going to share some tips for making Zip It Up 2.0. But first, please enjoy this video about one of the fabulous local quilt shops that we're featuring this week. This amazing shop was the regional winner for South Carolina in our 2023 local quilt shop contest and the grand prize winner for the whole U.S. in 2024.
Hi, I'm Elisa from ByAnnie.com and Patterns by Annie. Today we have a real treat for you as we share more about our 2024 LQS contest grand prize winner for the United States, SewEndipitous. Not only are they one of our grand prize winners, but they have also been our regional winner in South Carolina for the past 2 years. Despite their many awards, SewEndipitous had humble beginnings. Founder and owner Lisa Renee Baker began SewEndipitous out of her own home as a web-based business. She dedicated her entire living room to storing products and quickly had to expand to her dining room, foyer, and extra bedroom. Thankfully, after 4 years, Lisa found a brick-and-mortar storefront that would become the quilt store that the Rock Hill community loves today. Today, SewEndipitous boasts a 5,000 square foot storefront where they offer everything a sewist could want. That includes quilting fabrics along with Husqvarna Viking sewing, embroidery, and serger machines, as well as accessories. They also sell arrow and kangaroo sewing furniture, and their exclusive quilting and sewing-themed SewEndipitous designs. These SewEndipitous exclusive designs range from greeting cards, adult coloring books, journals, calendars, artwork, and eventually their own line of quilting fabric. Since the last time we talked about SewEndipitous, they added a brand new crew to their brand, the peculiar ladies of the Misfit Quilters Guild. This band of eccentric sewists proudly embrace their uniqueness and bring joy to the town of Stitchburg, a suburb of SewEndipitous. While the peculiar ladies might be a fictional community, SewEndipitous is founded on real connections between quilters. Lisa started quilting because of the influence of her family. Growing up around her grandmothers, aunts, and mother, Lisa's childhood was filled by quilting, knitting, crocheting, and sewing. She really learned how much love goes behind every stitch. That's what inspired SewEndipitous's motto, where unexpected happiness is found in every stitch. And customers certainly feel that joy. Customer Victoria told us, "I feel like I'm wrapped in a warm quilt of kindness every time I walk in." Another customer, Kathy, said, "SewEndipitous is my happy place. because the shop is filled with beautiful quilts and handmade items. It only takes a small look at one of their dance parties to understand why customers are excited to visit. That definitely looks like a fun group to me. You can join in on some of that fun by participating in one of their upcoming events, like the airing of the quilts at Christmasville and their Night with Santa. The excitement in Rock Hill doesn't stop at SewEndipitous. The small town is full of exciting things for visitors to explore. There's golf courses, arts and theater, the Carowinds theme park, and the Riverwalk Outdoor Recreational Center. With so many attractions, the small town really feels like a big city. Of course, for local or visiting quilters, the biggest attraction Rock Hill offers is SewEndipitous. You can find more info at their website, SewEndipitous.com. Be sure to go to the LQS Contest website, LQScontest.com, and read our updated blog about the store. I hope you enjoyed learning more about SewEndipitous as much as I did. Until next time, happy stitching!
I enjoyed learning more about SewEndipitous too, and I had to laugh when I heard the story about Lisa starting her business in her home. Seeing how everything took over her house really reminded me a whole lot of the beginnings of ByAnnie. But what a beautiful space they now have. I can definitely see why customers say they feel like kids in a huge candy store when they visit SewEndipitous. All right, let's talk about making these streamlined cases. As we shared in the A Closer Look video, the Zip It Up 2.0 pattern calls for just 3 fabrics. You have a main fabric, which you use for the exterior, a lining fabric for the interior, in this case the yellow, and then a coordinating fabric that's used for everything else, the blue. You are going to cut and quilt the main and lining fabrics with Soft and Stable, and that's going to give great body stability and some cushioning to your case. Since we assume that most makers are going to be quilting on a domestic machine, we designed this pattern so that you quilt 2 sets for this project. So the first set, which is called Quilted Set A, is used to cut the body of the case. It's underneath these pockets, so it's the piece that goes all the way up and down. And Quilted Set B is going to be cut for these 2 outer pockets. Here are some things that you want to keep in mind as you cut those pieces. First of all, very little of the body shows on the outside of the bag, as the outer pockets cover almost all of it. So you've got a little bit showing here, and you've got a little bit showing here. So save your precious fabrics and your fussy cutting skills for set B, which is used to cut the 2 outer pockets. Also, if you're using a directional fabric, notice that the outer pockets are positioned so that the top faces the center of the bag. But the inside of the bag, let's turn it this way, is oriented so that the top is along this long upper edge of the bag. Since most fabrics are printed with the directional design going across the crosswise grain of the fabric, so from selvage to selvage, the cutting instructions for this pattern instruct you to cut the pieces for Quilted Set A so that they are wider than they are tall, so that whatever you've got on the lining side is going to be right side up. And we cut the pieces for Set B so they're taller than they're wide, because we cut one pocket and then the other pocket. So that means that your main fabric, if you cut it going up there, your direction might be going wrong, but since so little of it shows, don't worry about it. You're not even going to notice it. So that's something to keep in mind if you're using directional fabrics. Careful cutting, measuring, marking, and stitching are always important in any pattern, but they are especially important for this project. That's because the body of the case is one piece, it forms the front, the top, and the back of the case. And it's really important that this handle is attached right in the middle so that the front of the case is the same size as the back of the case. That's going to ensure that this zipper that goes all the way around fits properly and your case isn't crooked when you put it together. Also, the pattern is designed so that the stitching lines that attach these inner pockets are hidden under these outer pockets. and the stitching lines that attach these outer pockets along with the handle and handle stabilizer are hidden under this center facing that goes on the inner side. And that center facing has to fall within this very narrow area between the handle and pockets so that its stitching is hidden. So pay really careful attention to the pattern instructions when you cut, mark lines, and attach everything, and be sure to get and watch the add-on video for additional help. Remember that there is a coupon code in your paper pattern that has a unique code, so you can get that add-on video at no charge. I need a quick drink. All right, if you are using a fabric that has a really predominant design, I don't have any here. Our Tula Pink one that we made is off at a trunk show in the UK. But if you are going to probably want to fussy cut the design for these outer pockets. And here are some tips for that. Anytime that I have a bag with pockets on both the front, this is the front, and the back, I like to add a border or something else that's unique to the front pocket so that I can easily distinguish it from the back, because I put certain things in certain places and I don't want to have to go back and forth to remember which is which. So in this case, we added a border to the front pocket. This border is strictly decorative. So if you want to skip it, like we did on this one, you can. That's totally up to you. Or if you want to adjust its size, you certainly may. You can make it a little narrower, a little wider, whichever you want. So on the large Zip It Up 2.0 case that I made using Full Moon Forest 2, I did add the border, but that meant that I had to adjust how the owl was centered on the pocket to ensure that I didn't cut off its head. I had just enough room to fit the body of the owl on the front. Since there wasn't a border on the back pocket, I was able to feature the full owl, including its feet, on the pocket. So keep that in mind when you're cutting pieces. Also, this pattern directs you to use a number 4.5 zipper and specified seam allowances when you assemble the pocket. But since we're never sure what size zipper a maker will be using, and it's not unusual for people to use number 3 zippers, which are a full ½ inch narrower, or maybe their seams aren't going to be accurate, we usually allow extra fabric for the pockets to ensure that your pocket ends up being exactly the right size. We want to make sure that everything fits together perfectly. So after you attach the border, the zipper, and the binding to the pocket, the pattern will direct you to trim the pocket to the exact size needed. And in this case, if you've used a number 4.5 zipper and accurate seams, you're probably going to trim away about ½ inch from the bottom of the pocket. So keep that in mind if you're fussy cutting, because you may trim a little of the bottom of that pocket away. That's the reasoning why we do it. As always, be sure that you read the pattern carefully before you start so that you understand how each piece is assembled and take those adjustments into consideration as you cut your pieces. Better yet, make one out of fabric that's non-directional, non-special, and so that you understand all of that, and then when you're ready to use your precious fabrics, it's going to be a lot easier for you. All right, next let's talk about zippers. So for this project, you are going to use 3 different methods to attach the zippers. And so it's a really great learning experience, a great project for that. And I'm going to walk through the process for these. For this, I am going to use my handy little zipper step out that we make to show you the methods. These aren't going to be the same size as the pieces in the pattern, but the methods are going to be the same. So this is just a handy little demo tool that I use at classes and at shows. We used to make these to sell to shops so that they could have them on hand, but we haven't had time to do that in quite a while. One thing I'm curious to know, though, is if making something like this would be of any interest to any of you. So again, we designed it primarily for shop owners, people who teach classes, but I can also see that it could be helpful for those who don't make bags often enough to feel comfortable with the techniques without maybe a little bit of a refresher. So I've debated for a while about having a sew-along for folks to make their own zipper step out. That would mean they'd always have a reference tool for the steps to attach zippers in the most used ByAnnie ways. If this is something you would be interested in, please leave a comment to let us know or email us. If there's enough interest, maybe we can schedule a sew-along for that sometime next year. All right, so let's talk first about attaching the zippers to the pockets, the quilted pockets that go on the outside of the bag. This is the most used method of attaching zippers in ByAnnie projects, and it's the same method we use if we're doing a zipper strip in the top of a bag. It's our common, well-used way. So the first thing that you're going to do, and I've got to flip this over because I've got it upside down, is take your pocket. In this case, this is my pocket, and your zipper, and you're going to put those right sides together. So your pocket is right side up, your zipper is right side down, which means the teeth are down, and you're going to align the zipper along the edge where you're installing it. The other really important thing is two important things. First of all, you want to make sure that you're letting it overhang on each end. You don't want to have the zipper pull in the way, and you don't want to have the zipper stomp on the end in the way. You do not need to have this much overhanging. This is just the smallest size zipper that we carry, so it's the size that I used. And I don't worry about this because after I have this installed in my bag, I can trim this off, add a zipper slide on it, and I have another zipper for another project. So just let enough hang out over here that your slide is out of the way and the rest overhang on the other side. The other really important thing is that you want to make sure that the long edge of your zipper is overhanging the long top edge of your fabric pocket by about 1/8 of an inch. And the reasoning for that is in the next step, we're going to finger press it over and stitch along the inside edge, and having it extend beyond the fabric makes it easier to hide the raw edges. So after you've got that clipped in place, and usually what I do is I lay it on the front and make sure I've got my zipper slide on the right side. I always put the zipper slide on the left so that my zipper closes to the left. I'll put a couple of wonder clips on that side, and then I'll flip it over and make sure that I've got it overhanging evenly all the way across and finish putting my clips on that side. But I'm going to stitch it stitching from this side. And because I've got that little bit of zipper tape overhanging, I want to make sure I'm doing a generous 1/4 inch seam. So I move my zipper or my needle position 1 click to the left, and then I stitch all the way along that edge. Because I'm using my 1/4 inch foot, one edge of the foot is running along the edge of the zipper, the other edge of the foot is just riding right along next to those teeth. And it makes it really simple to get a nice straight stitch all the way across. So I get my zipper sewn in place, and then my next step is to take that zipper tape and finger press it to the back, and I just use my finger to run up and down it a few times, and then I'm going to stitch along that very edge, which is going to look like this. So here I've stitched it just part way across. I like to use my stiletto as I'm doing this, and I forgot to grab one. Grab one right here. So I'm just going to take my stiletto and run it along that seam line as I go, and you can see that it helps it kind of go down, and I can also use it to push any loose threads that might be there down and to hold the zipper tape in place. Can you see that okay, Jake, if I got stuff in your way? So keep that down and then just sew from one edge to the other, sewing right along the very edge of that tape. What that's doing is not only giving you a nice finished edge on the inside and making sure you don't have any raw edges or loose threads holding, but it's also producing a nice line of top stitching on the outside. When I'm teaching classes, it's not at all unusual for me to walk around and see somebody doing this line of stitching on the outside. And invariably they will say, well, I want it to look good on the outside. Trust me, if you get in the habit of doing it this way on the inside, it's going to look good on the inside and the outside, and you're going to be a lot happier. So practice doing that, stitching it on that side. So that's your basic technique for attaching the zipper on the quilted pockets on the outside. Next, I want to talk about doing the zippers on the inside. And these are done a little bit different than sometimes how we do zippers. So a lot of times what we'll do on zippers is rather than putting right sides together, we'll put wrong sides together. We'll follow the same process though. We'll stitch that with a generous 1/4 inch seam. We'll finger press that over this time to the front since we had wrong sides together, stitch along the edge, and our zipper will be attached. So that's another part of the step out. But what we're going to do on this one is something a little bit different. So this time we are going to sew some binding to the top of the pocket, and then to the top of the zipper to give it a finished edge. So let's walk through the steps to do that. I had this all organized. We'll see where we're at here. So to do that, you're going to have a piece of fabric, a 2-inch strip cut for your binding and a piece for your mesh. Keep in mind when you're cutting mesh that mesh has more stretch on the crosswise grain than on the lengthwise grain. So make sure that you've got the stretchy side going side to side when you cut your pieces out. Our measurements are always listed height by width. So the first number will be the number going up and down. The other will be the number going across. Then take your binding that you cut, fold it in half with your right side out, pin it every 2 to 3 inches to hold those edges together, and then put those two pieces together and sew them together. And you're going to do this with a nice, accurate 1/4 inch seam. I personally prefer to stitch with my mesh on the bottom and my binding on top. I like to make sure that I can see just that little bit of edge of mesh sticking out all along as I go so that I know it's not pulling away around the back. Some people prefer to sew with the mesh on top and the fabric on bottom. Either one works. I think it depends on your machine and what you're used to. Try it both ways, see which one you like better. But get those sewn together, and then you're going to press your seam up towards your binding. So where did I put that stiletto? So for this, I use the pressing tool end of my stiletto, and I just take my seam and press it up. Sometimes I'll flip it over on this side and make sure that I've pressed it up really nice and get all of that going up underneath the binding so that when you turn this over, you've got all of those raw edges hidden on the inside when you stitch it down. More than once, when teaching a class, I've walked around and seen people do this, where they fold it over like this, and then your binding is too wide, your pocket's too short, and you've got kind of a messy edge on the inside. So what you're wanting to do is enclose all of those raw edges in your binding, and when you're done, it should look like this. I have found that usually the last side that I did looks the best. So as this comes out of my sewing machine, I take a wonder clip and put it with the colored side up so that I know when I'm ready to put this in my project that it's ready to go. That's the best side, and I can put it in. So now we've got the top edge of our pocket bound, and we're going to attach that to a zipper. And the easiest way to do that is to get some double-sided basting tape. Here's a trick to know about, oh man, thirsty. ByAnnie's double-sided basting tape comes with 2 rolls in the package. One of them is on the outside, the other one is hidden between the 2 layers of the packaging. So don't throw that package away thinking it's empty because you probably have another whole roll of basting tape in there. So, say that again. Drink a little more. All right, now that's better. All right, so now that I've messed around with that, I don't know which side was best, but that side looks pretty good. All right, so then you're just going to take your basting tape and you are going to run it right down the middle of the back of that binding. Our basting tape is super sticky, so it holds really well. It's also really narrow. It's only 1/8 of an inch wide. So if you put it right down the middle, we're going to sew this right along the top edge and right along that bottom edge where the previous line of stitching is. So just put it where it's not in either of those places and you won't have to worry about sewing through it. So put it on there, get it down nice and flat, and then pull your paper away, leaving the tape in place, if your eyes will focus. Throw that paper away, and then you're ready to attach this to your zipper. So I've got my zipper. I want to close it to the left, so my slide's on the left, and I take my pocket and I just align this right on top of my zipper. My goal when I do this is that I'm right at the bottom edge of the zipper. So from the front, I don't see any zipper tape extending down at the bottom of that. And when I flip it over to the back, I don't see any binding. You can see right there, there's a little bit of binding showing. So I just need to lift that little piece up right there and scoot it down a little bit. So that gets that held in place, and you can see it's there. It's not going to come off. Just don't forget to sew it. I have done that before if I've done all of them and not sat down and finished it right away. I make it a habit to sew this in place right away because it's really annoying. You think it's on there and then you go to put it in your project and the basting tape comes undone. So to sew it, you're going to start at the top and you're just going to sew all the way across that upper edge, come down, and then stitch back along that line of stitching on the bottom. So that when you're done, you've got 2 lines of stitching there on the back and your pocket is held in place. Now, on this little project that I showed you, I sewed another binding at the top of the zipper, which you are going to do on the bottom pocket in eye cases, but on the top pocket we are attaching a facing to the top of the zipper. We want this zipper to come down from the top of the pocket so that we're not worrying about sewing it as we go around this corner. So we're attaching a little facing, and we've come up with a much more ingenious way of doing this so that it has a finished edge on both sides, and we've cut just a bigger piece. We've added some interfacing to the inside, and then we are going to take the folded edge, which is a little different than what you would expect, and we're going to align it on the top of our zipper, sew across it, and then fold it up so that when it's finished it's going to look like this. So we're attaching it basically the same way would do a binding. It's just bigger, and we've got now these open edges at the top. The reason we put the open or the folded edge at the bottom, 2 reasons actually. First is those edges are finished, so we don't have to worry about any raw edges showing. Second, sometimes when you fold a piece like that, you get some wrinkles in it when you sew it, and this, because it's open at the top, enables you to really make it nice and flat and press those out smoothly. So here I've sewn just along part of that edge, but you'll finish stitching all the way across and you'll have 2 lines of stitching. So again, the double-sided basting tape is going to make that super easy to do, and just follow the instructions. You are going to do exactly what I just showed you if you're using vinyl. It's exactly the same way, how you attach the binding and how you attach the zippers. So on this bag, the pattern tells you you can use mesh or vinyl. Either one works, and it's just up to you. Kind of think about what you want to put in them, which you think will be better for what you're doing. All right, the last zipper that's in this project is the zipper that goes all the way around the outside. And this is a little more complicated, but not hard. And this is completely covered by the add-on video that goes step by step through the whole process. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to have your zipper closed, and you're going to clip one side of it to this side of the bag. And you'll sew around that, and then you'll open it up and attach the other side to the other side of the bag. They'll meet in the middle at the top. Whoops, this is the top. Keep having this backwards. They meet in the middle here. You leave them outside where the facing's going to go here, and then you've got it attached. So a simple process, and the video covers that all. All right, next I want to talk about some of the ways that you can customize Zip It Up, but before we move on to that, let's enjoy another local quilt shop feature. So this fabulous shop opened somewhat by accident, but it's still going strong 12 years later. They focus on fabrics and quilting and are known for their great customer service, classes, and community involvement.
Hi, I'm Elisa from ByAnnie.com and Patterns by Annie. Today we're visiting Cary, North Carolina to learn more about the regional winner for North Carolina in both our 2023 and 2024 local quilt shop contest, Cary Quilting Company. Owner, Julianne Walther, likes to say the shop started somewhat by accident. When a historic home turned quilt shop was left empty after the owner retired, Julianne decided to take her home-based custom quilt-making business and move into the space. As soon as she moved in, Julianne had people knocking on her door asking when the quilt shop would open. Less than 2 months later, with only 400 bolts of fabric, Cary Quilting Company opened their doors for the first time. Now, Cary Quilting Company is nearly 12 years old and boasts more than 6,000 bolts of fabric in inventory. The shop is nearly 6,000 square feet of quilting heaven. They choose not to sell sewing machines so they can focus on bringing in the best quality fabrics and help quilters with their long arm services. Besides the regional wins in our local quilt shop contest, Cary Quilting Company has recently won 2 awards in the 2024 Raleigh's Best competition, Gold for Best Specialty Shop and Gold for Best Customer Service. It should be no surprise then that we got hundreds of comments from voters telling us how much they love the Cary Quilting Company staff. One voter, Dermot, told us Julianne and the staff at Cary Quilting make the shop the best quilting shop around. Their knowledge and friendly service is second to none. Another voter, Brenna, shared, the staff go above and beyond. I especially love sitting down with the quilters to discuss my project and get their input on thread color and quilting patterns. My quilts always come back beautiful. The staff of 25 all have their own roles and specialties, but one thing that is consistent is their readiness to greet and help any customer that walks through their door. Of course, any team is only as good as their leader, and Julianne is as good as it gets. Even when she's not in the shop, Julianne is quilting. Her biggest passion is portrait quilting. That's right, she's not standing in front of photographs. Those are handmade quilts. If you're interested in learning this craft, check out Julianne's book, Portrait Art Quilts, From Photos to Fabric. Or if you're like me and need a bit more practice before you attempt a portrait quilt, you can take one of their many sewing classes that Cary Quilting Company offers. Besides their classes, the shop offers many events for community sewists, like their biannual Homemade Vendors Market. Customers love the opportunity to gather with other crafters in the Cary area and share their projects. One customer, Peggy, even described the event as feeling like a family reunion. For anyone who wants to make the trip to visit one of these vendors markets, be sure to check out the rest of Cary, North Carolina. Cary is a vibrant, multicultural town. They have many wonderful cultural celebrations and delicious dining options in the area. The town is filled with public art installations, which can be found in places like the Cary Arts Center, formerly the town's high school, and the Page Walker Arts and History Center, formerly a train depot hotel. They are also home to lots of national-level sporting venues like Wake Med Soccer Park and the U.S. Baseball National Training Complex. Recently, the city even opened an incredible new downtown Cary Park, which is within a mile of the Cary Quilting Company. Whatever you decide to do, you're sure to have a wonderful time in Cary, as long as visiting Julianne and her staff at Cary Quilting Company is on your itinerary. You can learn more about this incredible shop at their website, caryquilting.com. And until next time, happy stitching!
I really enjoyed learning more about Cary Quilting Company and hope you did too. I always enjoy catching up with Julianne at market. She is such a gracious lady. I loved learning about their biannual Homemade Vendors Market that the store organizes to support their crafting community. That is such a great service. All right, let's talk about customizing Zip It Up. These cases are really amazing blank slates, and they offer lots of opportunities to make them your own. So this is a set that we made using a beautiful line of blue and white florals called Gratitude and Grace, which was designed by Pat Sloan for Benartex. And as we said in the video, we customized this one by using all mesh, find the zipper here, for the pockets on the small case, and all vinyl for the pockets on the large. Both of those give you really good visibility. You're just going to have a little bit of ventilation and a bit of stretch if you use mesh, and a little more security if you use vinyl. So be sure to think about what you're going to put in there before you decide what to do. One thing that we didn't really talk about before now, the pattern is designed to have a single pocket on this side, double pockets on this side. There's no reason you couldn't switch those around or do 2 single pockets or 4 double pockets on each side. You just need to decide that before you cut your pieces and mark lines according to what size you're going to do. So that's Gratitude and Grace from Pat Sloan. This set of bags were made using Memories Unfold by Stephanie Organis for Andover. And as we said earlier, because we only got 1 yard pieces of the fabrics in this line, we really had to get creative. But we really enjoyed the challenge of using every bit of these fabrics. So last week we showed you an on the go that we made using leftovers from the extra large 2 big totes that we made using the black and white fabrics. And we also had enough of those to make the body for this small case. So we fussy cut the quilted fabric. You'll see that on the inside we fussy cut it so that, I'm not sure it was exactly centered, but I knew the facing was going to cover it. But one side has the black and white stripe, the other has the black with the black and gray dots. And then the other side of the fabric was also pieced. I didn't do a great job of getting them lined up exactly, which actually worked out perfect for this, because if you look underneath here, you're going to see that I have the black and white dots enough that I could cut it so that they went a little bit under this pocket, and then we got the yellow part. So it just barely is right there. I had to really squeeze to get that to work. But it worked out perfectly that it shows the black and white dots between the handles, and then we used leftover pieces for the front and back. And if you're quilting your own fabric, you can certainly combine fabrics for the inside here. You could do 1 piece for this side, 1 piece for underneath this pocket, a totally different pocket or fabric for under that pocket. So there's all kinds of ways that you can combine fabrics to give lots of fun different effects. Note too that because the fabric was limited, as we said in the video, we skipped making the fabric handles and we used Tula Pink's black and white striped webbing for the handle and handle stabilizer. And I think that gives it a really fun, fresh look, plus makes it a little bit easier because you're not sewing nearly as much. All right, let me put those back, and then we're going to talk about my cherry wood zip it up that I made after I have another drink. So you may remember that a couple of weeks ago when we introduced 2 big totes, I showed you this tote bag that we made and embellished with raw edge applique poppies using this beautiful hand-dyed fabric from Cherry Wood Fabrics. So here is a coordinating zip it up that I made to go with that tote. Since this front pocket offers such a great space to embellish, I decided to skip that border and just add some poppies instead. So I had gotten a pattern on Etsy for some poppies, and it wasn't quite big enough. You can see this is the size that the pattern was designed to be. I had a bigger space here, so I just enlarged the pattern a bit to make the poppies better fill the space. And I used Steam a Seam to attach the pieces to the pocket, and then I just did black thread and a zigzag stitch to attach everything. So I talked all about the process of making both the tote and this case in Season 4, Episode 41, so just a couple weeks ago. So if you missed that, or you want some more information about the techniques I used, be sure to watch that episode. All right, let's move on now to a next level large Zip It Up 2.0 case that was made by Nicole Wilkinson of Nicole's Stitchin' Up. You may remember that Nicole was our guest on Live with Annie in August of this year in Season 4, Episode 31. And we talked to Nicole about her processes, and she gifted me an amazing custom bag to hold my supplies. So be sure to watch that episode to learn more about it all. As we were finalizing the Zip It Up 2.0 pattern, I reached out to some of my friends to see if they could make some special models for us to share, showcasing their skills and techniques. And Nicole went all out, using Tula Pink's Tabby Road fabrics and ribbons from Renaissance Ribbons to embellish her case. On the front pocket, she added foundation paper pieced flying geese in a variety of fabrics to the border, and she put a row of ribbon below that border, and then she appliqued several fun designs using motifs that were cut from the fabric. I thought that was really fun. On the inside, Nicole used a 4th fabric for the bindings and facings on the pockets, and check out those kitties under each pocket. I am especially taken with that little kitty that's peeking out of the pocket on the right side. Also, that combination of Tahiti and turquoise for the fold-over elastic strips down the center facing is just perfect. That is such an extra special case, and thank you so much, Nicole, for sharing that with us. All right, next, check out this amazing large Zip It Up 2.0 that Alyssa Zaccardi of Quilting Alyssa made. So Alyssa joined us on Live with Annie this season in episode 29 to talk about pushing the boundaries, and she definitely did that with this project. So on the front pocket, Alyssa added a plain border, but she embellished the pocket itself with foundation paper piecing and applique. I really love the combination of the curved flying geese and the spikes on her curved block. Her choices of fabrics and colors are just perfect. To jazz up the handle at the top, she added some decorative ribbon from Renaissance Ribbons, which I thought was really nice. And of course, Alyssa added some fun appliques and foundation paper piecing to the inside of the bag. So on the left side, she appliqued a curved flying goose unit to the mesh pocket, which is really impressive. And on the right side, she appliqued a similar unit plus a beautiful flower on the body of the bag, and she placed those underneath the vinyl pocket. I thought that was fabulous as well. Alyssa always does amazingly beautiful work, and we really thank you for sharing your talents, Alyssa. All right, before we close, let's take a look at some of the fun Zip It Up 2.0 bags that were made by our pattern testers. We are featuring them today on the ByAnnie blog too, so be sure and check that out. A big thanks goes to all of our testers who worked really hard to make sure that this pattern was error-free and ready to sew. So Jan had just enough of this fun out-of-print Tula Pink fabrics to make the small Zip It Up 2.0. And Jan said, "I do love that basting tape, and I used it wherever I could." Jennifer made both sizes of Zip It Up 2.0 using Tula Pink's Homemade in the Noon colorway. Since this was a directional fabric, she positioned the fabrics with the handle on the side for the small and at the top for the large. As she said, they work either way. I think these cases are great for holding either study work materials or sewing projects when you're on the go. So in the small, she put her iPad mini, charger, earbuds, and some pins, and in the large, she put her ByAnnie pattern, some thread, and other sewing tools. Kim made her fabulous Zip It Up 2.0 using Tula Pink's Tabby Road collection. We loved the striped binding and how Kim highlighted the fabric design with her quilting. Nairi made her beautiful case with Moda's Blooming Lovely range. She gifted this case to a friend who will be using it to take her rosary beads and other items to church. What a lucky friend. And Mandy made her small Zip It Up 2.0 using an older fabric called Neptune and the Mermaid by Tokyo Milk for Free Spirit. She did a great job of fussy cutting the fabric for the front pocket, and I love the contrasting zippers that she used too. You may notice that Mandy modified her case slightly to make the corners a little bit more rounded. Our main model maker, Marianne, made this beautiful Zip It Up 2.0 using the new Gratitude and Grace line by Pat Sloan. It's perfect to hold her iPad and all its accessories. We loved making some of our new patterns along with other popular favorites using Gratitude and Grace for a blog hop that Pat Sloan did. So be sure to check out our blog to see all of the projects that we made. I am ready for another drink. Michelle made this large Zip It Up 2.0 with a fun sneaker print fabric. And this would be great for taking to work or school since it has ample space for a tablet or other device, papers, pens, and other items. Michelle said her granddaughter really loves the elastic loops on the inside of the bag. Me too. I really love those. They're perfect for holding all sorts of things, and they really help keep the zipper tab in place when you close the bag. And I want to show you that real quick because a lot of times I will see people's bags pictured with this zipper tab hanging out on the outside, which to me just doesn't look as nice. So if you take that zipper tab and stick it up underneath those elastic strips and the pattern tells you exactly where to place it, then all you have to do when you're ready to close it is pinch this bag together at the edge, and it's super easy to close. Easy to open, and then just pinch it at the top, and it's super easy to close. Randy made the small Zip It Up 2.0 using Tula Pink's out-of-print Elizabeth line. I agree with Randy that this is the perfect project for showcasing a special fabric instead of letting it hide away in a drawer. And Randy omitted the front border and used her quilting to really highlight Elizabeth's face. I love that she used a different design on the front than on the back so that it's still easy to tell which is which. And Randy said she plans to use her case for English paper piecing supplies. Great idea and great job, Randy. It was such fun to see all of those, and thanks again to all of our awesome pattern testers. We really do appreciate your input and help. So let's see if viewers have any questions about Zip It Up or other subjects. All right, which zipper method is used on Side Hustle? So Side Hustle is very much that first zipper method that I showed, where you put right sides together, you sew the zipper on the pockets that are on the outside of Side Hustle. Here, let me grab one and we'll show it to you. These are done just by putting it, but one thing that you have to know is that because we want the zippers to be at the top, rather than positioning the zipper slide on this side, you position the zipper slide on the other side, and the pattern is very specific about that, so read and follow the instructions. Then we do not bind the top edge. What we do is we take our zipper, we've got our pocket up here and our zipper at the bottom, and we sew across the zipper and then fold the pocket down to attach it, but very much the same. This zipper is a little bit different in that we finish each end with a little tab, which is very ingeniously done so that there are no raw edges anywhere showing. But then it's attached basically the very same way these zippers are done. So easy to do all three of those zippers. And that is all included in the pattern, and this part of the zipper is included in the add-on video too, I'm quite sure. Can the interior pockets of Zip It Up 2.0 be divided? Absolutely, yes. So if you wanted to, let's do one that's easier to see that's made out of vinyl. If you wanted to sew a line up through here, sew a line, maybe divide this into 3, sew a line through here, you certainly can. All of these pockets are attached before the outside pockets, so you don't have to worry about sewing through those at the same time. If you are going to divide these pockets, I would definitely suggest that you add another zipper slide on there so that you can open and close this pocket without opening and closing that pocket. I mean, you could do 3 pockets in here. You just have to figure out the math to do that. But yes, you can easily do that. Next question is, what are the zipper loops on the inside for? So as I said earlier, one of them is used to hold the tab in place. They're also perfect if you've got a pen or a pencil or a stiletto. You can slide it in there and hold it in place. You can put spools of thread in there. If you're carrying tech gear, you could put a battery in there. There's all kinds of things that you can use that area for, and it still enables you to zip the case closed and not have that space wasted. So I really love those for just little things that you want to have really super easy access to. I've got a small one of these that I've been carrying my planner in. I have a planner small enough to fit inside here. And I've got my pens, and I like using different colors, and my erasers and my little rulers in there. But the pens that I use the most often, I just keep there so I don't have to zip the pocket open and get to them. Tula Pink, this is very similar to our running with scissors. Tula Pink puts sewing machine feet in there. So all kinds of ways you can use it. If anybody has other ideas, be sure to put some notes in the chat and share other ways that you use them too. Can you encase the zipper so that you don't have to pinch the bag to zip it closed? Can you encase the zipper? You mean like attach the zipper? You can sew the zipper down. The original version had this just sewn, but it's still really helpful. I mean, you can see there after you've opened and closed it, but you just kind of have to put a little pressure on there to keep it from wanting to pull out. The more you open and close this, the easier it's going to be to do that. But it's really not that hard to just put your finger there and pinch it. So I play with it and see what you think. But to me, that makes it super easy to do. All right, that looks like all the questions we have. I hope you enjoyed learning more about Zip It Up 2.0. We can't wait to see what you make, so be sure to share photos of your finished projects with us. And remember that you can do that and win up to a $50 shopping spree at ByAnnie just by entering our monthly photo contest. And to do that, just go to ByAnnie.com. Up at the top, you're going to see a tab that says Community. Click on that. It's on that top menu bar. And then on the left side of the screen, you're going to see Monthly Photo Contest. Click on that and you'll find all the details. As always, please ask for these patterns and supplies at your local quilt shop. These shops are such an important part of our sewing and quilting communities. It's up to all of us to keep them strong and vibrant. And if they don't have these products, they can certainly get them either from their favorite distributor or directly from us. We're always happy to set up wholesale accounts for them, so just ask them to contact us for more information. Before we close, I have just a couple of special announcements to make. As you have no doubt noticed, we enjoy making models using fabrics from a wide variety of fabric houses. And one of the companies that we especially like working with is Island Batik. I think their beautiful batik fabrics come in so many gorgeous colors and designs, and models made using these fabrics really have a classic look and a timeless appeal. Each year, Island Batik chooses a group of ambassadors to help promote their fabrics. And for several years now, we have collaborated with them to offer a bag making challenge to those ambassadors. So in that, each of the ambassadors chooses a ByAnnie project that they'd like to make. And then Island Batik provides the fabrics, and we provide the fabric and necessary supplies like soft and stable zippers, hardware, all the things they need. Some of these ambassadors are really seasoned bag makers, but for some of them, this is their very first time making a bag. But it's always such a treat to see their beautiful projects. So earlier this week, we posted a blog highlighting the work of the Island Batik ambassadors. So please be sure to go check that out. We know that you are going to get some good inspiration there. And we've put up the link so that you can easily find it. Or you can, just like for the photo contest, go to ByAnnie.com, click on the Community tab on the top menu bar, and then under the section that says Connect with Us, you'll find a link to the ByAnnie blog. These fabrics are just hitting stores now, so be sure to ask for them at your local quilt shop. And there is still time for you to make a ByAnnie bag for yourself or someone special before the holidays. So to help, we included a fun holiday giveaway in the blog post. And let me show you what we've got in it. Move these out of the way. So this is your chance to win some Island Batik fabrics along with a pattern and ByAnnie Soft and Stable. So the giveaway is open to all U.S. residents. It includes 5 half-yard pieces of fabric from Island Batik's Essence collection. This is their Chameleon colorway. You can get the ByAnnie pattern of your choice, and you also get a half-yard package of Soft and Stable. So that's 18 by 58 inches of Soft and Stable, enough to make a small Zip It Up, a side hustle, a catch-all caddy, all kinds of different things. This is the premier sew-in stabilizer for your projects. It's going to give them great body and stability. So again, these fabrics would be perfect for a Zip It Up, and on the go, or lots of other patterns of your choice. So to enter the giveaway, you need to leave a comment on the blog post. Don't leave a comment on today's live, because that's not going to do you any good. So go to the blog post, enter a comment there, and in your comment, tell us which pattern you'd like to use with these beautiful fabrics and Soft and Stable. The giveaway ends on Sunday, this coming Sunday, December 8th at 11:59 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and we will pick a winner at random on Monday, December 9th. We will notify the winner from email, so be sure your email address is in your profile when you comment on the blog post. Also, the end of the year is coming, and we want to let you know that our office and warehouse will be closed for several days at the end of this month so that we can give our team and ourselves a much-deserved and well-needed break. I don't think I said that right. Well-needed? I guess well-needed. Well-deserved and much-needed? That sounds better. All right, our last day to fill orders in 2024 will be Monday, December 23rd. So orders placed after that date will be held until we return on Thursday, January 2nd. And note that our website will be available throughout the holidays, so you can still access your courses, you can still place orders, watch all of our videos, and we will be excited to fill your orders when we get back to work on Thursday, January 2nd. Finally, be sure to stay tuned at the end of this episode to see one more video clip of another featured local quilt shop. The dedicated owner of this amazing shop is a school teacher, and her winning shop is open just 1 day a week and by appointment. They have been open just 5 years, but have been a regional winner in both our 2023 and our 2024 local quilt shop contests. And I know you'll enjoy learning more about them, so stay tuned. Thank you again to everyone who joined us today. We will be back next Wednesday at 2 p.m. Mountain Time with another inspiring episode of Live with Annie. We are going to be joined by the very talented Krista Watson, who's going to share information about a brand new free video series she is developing for quilting your projects on a domestic machine. Her techniques are really perfect for quilting your ByAnnie projects, so you don't want to miss it. And until then, happy stitching!
Hi, I'm Elisa from ByAnnie.com and Patterns by Annie. Today we're heading to the Bayou to Flowers to Fabric in Sulphur, Louisiana. They are our regional winner for Louisiana in our 2023 and 2024 local quilt shop contest. Flowers to Fabric first opened in 2007 as an online shop. Owner Tanya Moak hoped to expand, but as a school teacher, she wasn't sure if a physical location would ever be in the cards. In 2019, she found a property that she knew would be perfect for a quilt shop and told her dad, who regularly buys and sells property. He told her it was too expensive and she forgot about it. Within a week, her father bought the property after the owner reduced the price and started asking Tanya about her plans. As much as she would have liked to run a quilt shop, as a teacher, she didn't know if she would have the time. After many long nights of tears and prayer, Tanya decided she was going to try. September 28, 2019, Flowers to Fabric opened their doors for the first time. In the last 5 years, the store has continued to grow despite only being open on Saturdays and by appointment. Within the next 3 years, Tanya hopes to retire from teaching and expand her hours. The shop itself is a humble 1,200 square feet with a cozy atmosphere. They carry over 1,000 bolts of fabric as well as notions, Janome sewing machines, and plenty of ByAnnie patterns. They are also known for their friendly service and make a point to learn everyone's name. Tanya makes sure customers know everyone is welcome to visit and have a cup of coffee and a snack, even the littlest customers. And customers certainly appreciate their welcoming atmosphere. Brian shared, Flowers to Fabric is one of the best quilt shops I've ever been to. Not only because of their amazing inventory, the customer service is second to none. They really make you feel like family as soon as you walk through the door. This will be my go-to quilt shop for the rest of my life. Deb told us, it's my happy place. Tanya is always so helpful. It feels like coming home when I walk through the door. Besides being filled with great fabrics and great accessories, it is always filled with smiles and laughter. And it's not just customers sharing how much they love the shop. We even had a couple of Tanya's students write in to tell us that Mrs. Moak is the best, and she is so cool. It is clear that Southern hospitality is alive and well within the walls of Flowers to Fabric, something that the entire city of Sulphur, Louisiana is known for. Besides their hospitality, Sulphur is known as the spot to go to for some good Cajun food. With their location close to the Texas border and within a short distance of the Gulf of Mexico, Flowers to Fabric is a perfect place to stop if you're traveling on the I-10. While their hours might officially only be on Saturdays, if you call ahead, Tanya is known for finding time to open the shop after hours for any enthusiastic quilter. You can find that phone number as well as more information about the shop at flowerstofabric.com. That's flowers, the digit 2, fabric.com. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy stitching!